Getting back on this workbench table thing here. I had a piece of metal cut. I couldn't get one free like I wanted, so I went to a fab shop. I had them cut me out a piece, 1 foot wide, 4 feet long, and 1/2 inch thick. And I'll be using my new drill. If you guys saw me working on the air compressor, replacing the tank on the air compressor last year, I needed a drill like this and didn't have one, a magnetic drill. So I had to hand drill all the holes, and that was a challenge. It was physically challenging. So I went on Amazon and I bought this drill, and this will be my first time using it because I need to put some holes in it to mount that big vise on here. But I'm not going to bolt this thing to the table. I'm just going to bolt the vise. I'm going to drill through this, bolt the vise to the table. I'm going to put some tack welds on this right now. That's why these clamps are on there. I got it sitting where I want it. And I'll put a few tack welds around it. I can't weld one continuous weld all the way down, because if the only way I could get away with that, I would have to find a way to keep the metal from shrinking when I weld it, and that's not something I can really do here. So I'll just put a few tacks, and then in between the tacks, after it's painted, I'll put silicone around it, caulk, to keep water from getting under it and rusting and swelling up underneath it. So anyway, that's where I'm at this point. Got this top sheet cleaned up and ready. It's kind of weird just where it says "Safe for Matt." It's one of the processing plants that I deal with on my job, delivering steel. I had Matt was my contact who got this and set it aside for me, this top piece. And so one of his workers wrote on there with some kind of a paint stick. And while it was sitting around here, the paint, or the mill scale, is still pretty clean. But this, where it says, where he wrote that on there, that paint stick somehow or another ate through the mill scale and rusted. And this was thick rust on this. I mean, it was like white or yellow paint when I got it, but it didn't take long and it rusted. And I had to scrape pretty good to get that off of there and then sand it down. I probably spent 20 minutes cleaning this off. That's just shiny metal where the mill scale is gone, where they wrote on there. So anyway, I'm going to paint this thing up and start getting it ready. I'm also testing out this new pair of welding glasses for quick short welds. I'm not going to use this on the whole welding job. I'm just trying it out on this one. And this is what you use when you cannot fit in a place with a regular hood, or if it's just extremely inconvenient for some reason and you just need to do a couple of quick short tacks, then you can use this. It's auto darkening, and you can see through it. You can see the writing on the table through the lenses there, and it does. You see the solar cells on it, and then it's got the two light sensors right here where my thumb is, and then on the other end there's another one. And I just tried it and it worked. It got dark when I looked through it, and I mean when I started welding, it got dark as soon as I started welding, so it does work. I have another pair, an older pair like this. I just wanted to get a second one to have in case the other one quits. And they're cheap. They're like 20 bucks or so on Amazon. And I got a new hood here I'm going to be trying out. I can't really do much with it on camera as of yet, but I'd like to set up one of these where I can put my welding on camera. But anyway, you can see the lights through there, I think. I don't know what we can see in it. I'm ready to start drilling some holes. I had to plan this thing out and keep checking over to find out whether or not it's where I really want it or not, because once it's done I'm stuck with it. Well, I mean, I can drill new holes and move the vise again. But anyway, I got my tacks on all the way around, and I had the vise sitting over here. I had it on that end and I put it on this end, and I'm scooting it around, and I decided on where I want it, and I put some punch marks through the holes where it's got to go, through the holes on the base of the vise. There's one there, and I got this drill set up and touching that punch mark there, and I got the magnet turned on. It's over here. It's tight. It's tight, but then we're on a 1/2 inch of steel. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drill these holes. I got my WD-40 here for lube. This does come with a bottle to fill it with lube. Hang the bottle on the side here, and it's got a little valve. You can just let it drip. I'm not going to bother with that. I'll just do it by hand with the WD. My pilot hole went pretty good. Now I'm ready to put a bigger bit in. This is a couple sizes bigger than 3/8. I'm going to go with 3/8 bolts on this. Some people might think, why don't you use 1-inch bolts, or at least 1/2 inch bolts? Hey, there's only like 3/8 bolts holding these two, this one and the other one on the other side. And that's, I mean, once the base is down, then the only thing securing the vise is these two bolts right here. So if there's 2 of those that are about 3/8, and then if there's 4 of these big ones, that's more than enough. Got it cleaned up and painted, and got this tacked on there. Holes are done for the vise, but we'll let the paint dry a little while, a few days before we put the vise on there, because that vise is heavy. Just trying to set it up there will scratch up the paint pretty bad. I'll have to put some cardboard up there and get it in position, and then tip the vise and get the cardboard out. Figure out a way. Anyway, I'm happy with it. It looks good. Got the table pretty much finished for the moment. The only thing I got left to do is in between where this top piece of metal is welded onto the frame, I want to put some caulking in between these little welds, because if I don't, water's going to get in there, rust, and it's going to swell up and try to warp this thing and break the welds. And I'll do that on this too, where this 1/2 inch piece is on here, and go around it. So that's the only thing I haven't done yet. I still want to build. I may do it, I may not. I kind of need to build a wooden cabinet around the outside of it. to keep the, since this will be sitting outside, I believe it's going to be sitting in the new work area. So it'll be kind of outside. I don't want dew settling on it every day, or rain when it's windy and raining sideways. I don't want that getting on that. I want to keep that welding machine in there. That big heavy welder that's kind of like this big monster in here. That 300-pound big Lincoln. Anyway, yeah, since I want to put that welder inside this, I want to protect it to keep the dew off of it and keep the bugs out of it, wasps and stuff like that, from putting nest in there. So it's a little tall for me. This comes up to my chest. It's a little bit tall for me, but it's I can stand on something and work with it. But if I was to make it shorter, which I can, but the only way I could do that, I'd have to cut these legs off and bring them down 6 inches or whatever. But then that welder won't fit inside of it. So that could still happen someday, who knows. Well, the table's over here in the new work area, and got this all caulked up. That caulk's supposed to turn clear. It goes on white, actually snow white, just like caulk that's supposed to be white, but it's supposed to turn clear after it dries. As directions say, it'll take a couple of weeks. So anyway, that's on there. That caulking is on even underneath here all the way around, and there's still more work I can do on this later. I did not get all the rust off of these 3-inch channels. Got most of it off. It just ended up painting over it, so that'll probably come through. Paint will come off, and anyway, can maybe sandblast or something, paint it later. We'll see. Touch of rust showing up right here. It's nothing important. It's going to do that. It's so clean and pretty, I really don't want to put anything on it and scratch the paint. I'm tempted to put a piece of 1/2-inch plywood on here, make it match up with this 1/2-inch steel up here. This is going to get banged up because that 1/2 inch is there for hammering and banging on stuff. This is thinner here. I don't want to bend this up. So anyway, I'm happy with it, and it's over here where I need it to be. And I can roll that around and get it wherever I want it.